What's up, guys? Back here with another editing video. This time it is the living space of a $1.3 million property. So that's pretty cool. It's a beautiful home. This living space had like 12-foot ceilings, I believe it was. Anyway, super tall, huge wooden beams through it. Beautiful space, but let's jump right into how we would edit these photos for real estate. So right off, you can see our ambient shot here. And you can see we did this at 1/80th of a second, f4, and 3200 ISO. Also shooting with the Sony G Master FE 12 to 24mm lens, and I have it zoomed all the way out at 12mm, super wide, want to show off the whole room. So that's where we're at on the ambient shot. And then on our flash shot, we are also at 1/80th of a second at f4, but our ISO is turned down to 160, and I shot a flash off on this shot, and I used the Neewer TT560, I believe. Anyway, it's like a $30 flash off of Amazon, and it does the trick for me, jumping right into editing. So we'll start to adjust the highlights for these doors back here. I'm going to bring those down. I'm going to bring the whites down. Then we'll do our shadows here, like under the couch, bringing those up, bring the blacks up. Pretty much do this on every photo. Just the exposure here some. You can see at the histogram there at the top, we're kind of getting it in the center. We're going to add our lens correction. Now we're basically going to do the same thing on the flash photo. So basically I copy and paste this, but I'll do it manually here. So we'll adjust the exposure to expose really for the windows, but then you can see that brightens some of these areas up. So we're going to pull the highlights down, pull the whites back, and then I'll go ahead and even it out by pulling the shadows and blacks up. And I'm going to adjust this exposure one more time. Also lens correction. And see how they compare. Let's adjust the white balance some. So I'm going to take this, find a spot on the white ceiling. Same in the ambient shot. So that got our white balance and exposures a lot closer. So we're going to select both of them, edit in layers in Photoshop. But the first thing I do is put the flash layer on top. And then we're going to mask it. So it has a black mask over it. We're going to get a brush in white, and we're going to brush in the parts of the flash photo that we want to show through. So in the ambient shot, these doors were washed out. That's why we did the flash shot, so that we could get some detail back in the doors. So we're just going to kind of brush those back in. Blends pretty well here because we adjusted the exposure and everything before putting these in Photoshop. I brush this lamp over here that's kind of washed out. See on the floor back here it's a little light, or on the floor right here, right in front of these doors. Then I'm going to make this smaller, brush over the bulbs on this chandelier. Run up the chain. Hit this cam light over here. Back here. Alright, then we're going to make this brush a good bit bigger. Try to brush the shadow out of this bookcase. You can see these shadows on the side over here as well. The ultimate goal of this is to basically create even lighting. So you see here, there's a glare on this hardwood floor, probably from the chandelier there, so we brush that out. In the flash shot, the TV is much darker, so we're going to brush that in. Like this edge of the couch. I'm just kind of brushing over some of these areas to just even it out. On the ceiling here. Brush this beam. I'm gonna change that back. Got a little shadow on this other side, so we're gonna brush that back out. Brush down this beam. Make sure we've got all the detail brushed back in the door here. And so you can see, just turning that off and on, the areas that we brushed. And so we're gonna close and save this. Bring it back into Lightroom. And now we'll do our final editing here. So adjust our highlights and whites and shadows and blacks again. Again, just kind of evening the lighting out. And I'm gonna push this contrast way up, which is gonna bring a lot of color out of the image, but we will address that in the HSL section in just a minute. Let's adjust our white balance. Maybe adjust clarity here, add just a little bit. And we'll probably add a little bit of texture here just to kind of make the picture pop. We'll pull this vibrant slider down some. Okay, maybe not. Alright, HSL, so pull these sliders to the extreme just so we can see where some of these colors are hiding in the image. So I'm gonna desaturate a good bit of these orange and reds. That floor was not that orange in person, but the contrast made it a little more colorful than it really was. I'm gonna boost the orange into the yellow just a little bit as well to get rid of that orange hue. And you can see by turning that all the way up that there's a lot of yellow in the left corner of the room, and that was just not there either. It's from the lighting. Just gonna pull that down some. The greens. See, it's mostly outside, and some in the far corner over there. That boosted a little bit. A lot of the aqua seems to be outside of the doors as well, and the trees. And then the blue here, so that was not blue in the ceiling. The pillows were, but they also were not extremely saturated anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that way down. Let's see where that is. Don't really see a whole lot of purple. And there's not a whole lot of magenta either, so we'll just back those off a hair. I pretty much always pull the blues down into the aqua side. Just kind of softens it a little bit, makes it more of a natural color, I feel like. The yellows, let's see, what do we do with those? Pull those down to the orange some. Greens. Pull those down into the yellow. Alright, then we'll adjust our luminance here for our colors. So I'm probably going to brighten that floor up just a little. And our reds. Let's see, let's make those a little deeper. Yellows. I think I'm going to boost the yellows some. Definitely going to lower the greens. So that was not dark up there in the corner of the ceiling. So I'm actually going to boost those up a little bit to even that out with the rest of the room. Always going to add some sharpening. I pretty much always do 75 for sharpening and around 25 for the masking. Don't ask me why, that's just what I do. Then I usually add about 25 here of the noise reduction. We'll add lens correction again and chromatic aberration just to be safe. And then we'll crop here, make sure everything is good and straight. So here is our before ambient, before flash, and then our blended photo with our final edits. So like I said, beautiful space, and we just want to try to do it justice, show potential buyers of the home. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you are interested in photo editing, real estate photography, anything of the such, please subscribe, because I plan on making these videos non-stop pretty much now that that's what I'm doing. Feel free to subscribe.